Saudi Arabia has become India's major strategic partner. How did this happen? For two reasons. Saudi Kingdom intends to modernize via their young crown prince, who is keen to bring in reforms and expand investments. And India is one of the fastest growing countries in the world, a nation whose focus has been peace and not conflict. So a rational choice for both countries to inch closer. This was the image that spoke a lot. It was Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman alongside Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Joe Biden, announcing the mega India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, which is also known as the IMEC. This colossal infrastructure project connects India to Europe via the West Asia. It also reflects changing global alliances. India's PM and the Saudi prince, who is also the Prime Minister, teamed up for a joint task force to channelize a whopping $100 billion in Saudi investment for the West Coast refinery project in Maharashtra. These pictures at G20 could not be ignored. It's an emerging new geopolitical landscape, friendly relations between the biggest country in the subcontinent and a ruling Islamic monarchy. If you thought it's G20 only, what's the big deal? Prince Salman extended his stay, co-chaired the inaugural meeting of India-Saudi Arabia Strategic Partnership Council. This will enhance bilateral relationship. To agree on 8 groundbreaking agreements, including hydrocarbon energy partnership, are not easy deals. The focus now will be to negotiate for India's free trade agreement with the Gulf Cooperation Council, of which Saudi Arabia is a vital member. So there is energy, oil, defense and trade that India will want to gain benefits from. India is the second largest trade partner for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has become India's 4th largest trading partner. 18% of India's crude oil imports are sourced from Saudi Arabia. Bilateral trade surpassed $52 billion in 22-23. Increasing trade means alliances are getting stronger. India's imports from Saudi Arabia grew by 23.47% to reach $42 billion. Exports to Saudi Arabia were worth $10.72 billion, registering an increase of about 22% on year-on-year basis. There are around 2,783 Indian companies registered as joint ventures or 100% owned entities with investments worth approximately $2 billion in the kingdom as on January 2022. Saudi direct investments in India amount to $3.15 billion as on March 2022. Then there are also joint exercises, training, and high-level bilateral visits. These are two very different nations, a Hindu-majority secular democracy, a Muslim-majority conservative kingdom, and yet both seem to have found a way to stand together. How and why? Saudi's prince is a young leader, all of 38 years old, well-traveled, keen to change the usual perspective about Saudi in global narrative. While he's always dressed in traditional Arab robe, keeps the beard, but with that he has fingers on reforms in the oil-rich country. As he announced Vision 2030 that aims to bring more investments and reduce dependency on oil. Mohammed bin Salman's rise to power started after he was appointed the deputy crown prince in 2015 by his father, King Salman. Some of the biggest transformations, at least on surface, in modern history of Saudi Arabia has come under him. For example, women permitted to drive, not always be dependent on male guardian as was the norm earlier. He's now looking at India to connect with the Indian subcontinent and initiate deals that would benefit both. Can this crown prince become the game changer that India is looking at in the Gulf region? This is not to say that there have not been criticism too. Columnist Jamal Khashoggi's murder, restricting dissenters, dominating over Saudi elites, prevailing religious radicalism have been big controversies even under his tenure. How has India been with Saudi Arabia then? Let's look at history. Diplomatic ties were established since 1947. King Saud bin Abdulaziz Al Saud's trip in 1955. Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru's visit in 1956 laid the foundation of this relationship. Indira Gandhi visited in 1982. King Abdullah referred to India as his second home. He signed the Delhi Declaration on his visit in 2006. This was the first bilateral document signed by a Saudi king, which provided a comprehensive roadmap for relationship. The reciprocal visit by then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh in 2010 resulted in the signing of the Riyadh Declaration that focused on the strategic partnership. But it was in 2019, with Prime Minister Modi's diplomatic visit, Strategic Partnership Council agreement that solidified ties with agreements spanning energy, defense, and diplomat training. What about People Connect? Indian community is more than 2.2 million. It is the largest expatriate community in the kingdom and is highly respected due to the sense of discipline, law-abiding and peaceful nature. Their contributions to the development of Saudi Arabia are well acknowledged. But there is one aspect that has concerned India, and that has been the welfare of Indian migrant workers. Ties did get strained a few years ago when labor complaints continued to emerge. Reports surfaced of abuse of Indian workers. Saudi Arabia is known for poor human rights record and poor labor record. The contracts are rigid, and that is definitely something that does need a reform. And this is where diplomacy comes in. In 2017, Saudi authorities announced an amnesty period between April to November. And according to the Ministry of External Affairs document 2022, around 70,000 Indians were issued travel documents to return to India. Prime Minister's visit to Riyadh in 2019 led to announcement of India's e-migrate system that will be integrated with the kingdom's e-Tawthiq system to streamline the migration process for the workers. So this is a constant work of progress between two countries. Saudi Arabia is opening doors to Bharat's cultural aspects. India was the guest of honor at the 32nd Saudi National Festival of Heritage and Culture in 2018. Remember this. It's a conservative Islamic kingdom. It organized yet yoga cooperation in 2021, setting formal yoga standards. It was the first time in the Gulf region. Mahatma Gandhi, Guru Nanak Dev's birth anniversary are organized in Riyadh, and that shows increasing acknowledgement of ties with India. And if there is culture, there is always the Indian film industry. Saudi Minister of Culture Prince Badr bin Abdullah Al Saud in 2022 extended a cinematic hand, meeting film stars like Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar and Saif Ali Khan along with prominent film directors, aiming to merge Indian talents with burgeoning Arab cinema scene and invite them for film shoots. Film stars have a capability to sometimes become better living bridges than politicians can. It's because of their sheer admiration across borders. This will be the most interesting partnership to watch out for between India and Saudi Arabia, one that can forge global change and possibly bring more peace in this world. On that note, thank you for watching.